Hello, are you ready for another story? Well, tonight we're going to read a story called Spork, and it's by Kyo Maclear. Are you ready?
Spork. Spork was neither spoon nor fork, but a bit of both. He had a mom and a dad who both thought he was perfect just the way he was. But Spork stuck out. In his kitchen, forks were forks, and spoons were spoons. Cutlery customs were followed closely. Mixing was uncommon. Naturally, there were rule breakers, knives who loved chopsticks, tongs who married forks, but such families were unusual. One day, after the billionth time he was asked, "What are you anyway?" and the zillionth time he was passed over when the table was being set, Spork sighed and thought, it must be easier to be a single thing, and he decided he'd try to pick just one thing to be. He thought he should start by fixing his head. He put on a bowler hat to look more spoonish, but the forks thought he was too round. Then he made a paper crown to look more forkish, but the spoons thought he was too pointy. Spork wondered if there were other lonely creatures out there with no matching kind, who never got chosen to be at the table. At dinner time he watched from the drawer while the spoons played pea hockey and skillfully balanced boiled eggs. He sat off to the side while the forks raked fancy patterns in the mashed potatoes and twirled noodles around in complicated circles like rhythmic gymnasts. And at the end of this and every other meal, Spork looked on while the others enjoyed a super bubbly bath in the sink. Until one morning, a messy thing arrived. This messy thing had obviously never heard of cutlery, customs, or table manners. No, this messy thing smeared and spilled and flung and clumped and dripped without a care. "Wait," said the forks, but the messy thing did not wait. "Careful," said the spoons, but the messy thing was not careful. "Help," said the forks, while the messy thing continued to slop and splatter. "Quick," said the spoons. Now a fork may be good for poking and picking, and a spoon may be fine for scooping and stirring, but this messy thing with its slurpy and clumpy half-finished food bits needed something else. Something that could do all sorts of things at once. Something flexible and easy to hold. Something that was neither spoon nor fork, but a bit of both. That's when Spork landed. The messy thing saw Spork and immediately stopped and gurgled. It grabbed Spork and held him motionless in its fist. It tapped him once and let out a cheerful shriek. It wagged Spork excitedly up and down. And that's how Spork finally and happily found his way to the table. Just a bit round, just a bit pointy, just right.
So the Spork didn't know what to be. He tried being a fork by putting that pointy thing on his head, but he wasn't a fork, and so he really didn't fit in with the forks. He tried being a spoon by putting something else on his head, but he wasn't a spoon. And so he felt left out. He felt left out because he was neither like this group over here or that group over there. He was what we call unique. That means He was like no other. But that turned out to be a good thing in the long run. Maybe he was lonely to begin with, but when he finally found out what his purpose was, then it made him happy and fulfilled. And not only that, but it actually helped the forks and the spoons, because you see, babies have these brand new muscles, and it takes them a while before they learn how to use them properly. And just gripping a spoon or gripping a fork is really hard for babies. And so it turned out that the spork was just the right thing for the baby to learn to use, how to hold a utensil and eat with it. And think about it, if babies never learned to use utensils, then forks and spoons would have no purpose in life at all. It was the spork that made their purposes possible. You might think sometimes that you don't fit in. You might think sometimes that you're different and that you're not like this group or that group and that nobody else is like you. If that's true, that's a good thing, because that means that God has some special purpose just for you. And when you find that purpose, not only will you be fulfilled, not only will it make you happy, but you will make it possible for others to fulfill their purposes. Jesus formed us into a church, and we're told that in the church we're all supposed to use our own unique abilities and talents and gifts to benefit the whole community. All of us needs to find the best use of what we're good at so that we can help the whole community find what they're good at. And when we all do this together, then we can accomplish what God put us on this earth to accomplish. And that is to help carry on the mission of Jesus. And do you know why Jesus gave us the gift of the church, binding us together and helping us to use each other's talents and gifts for the benefit of the whole? Sure you do. Because he loves us this much. So celebrate the fact that you are you. You are good at things that others are not good at, even if you're not good at things that they're good at. That's a blessing. And God bless you that you know always that you are the beloved child he created you to be. Good night.